What's up guys, it's Will here, back again, and today we're here to count down 10 iconic characters and go over their definitive Hot Toys figures. That said, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and click that notification bell so you are notified when content goes live on this channel. That said, let's get definitive, part 2. Alright guys, so we're here today to go over 10 more iconic characters and list their definitive Hot Toys figures. If you have not seen part 1 of this series, doesn't matter, it's a sequel that you don't need to see the original. Go back and watch the original, I would love for you to do that. However, it's not necessary to move forward. These are 10 brand new characters that we're going to go over today, and we're going to list their definitive Hot Toys figures. The figures that I believe to be the best representation, the best purchase, the most iconic versions of these characters in 6-scale Hot Toys form. So as we go through this list, if some thoughts, comments, concerns pop into your brain, into your frontal lobe, make sure to drop them in the comments below and we can discuss them together. That said, let's get right to the list. And at number 1, we have the Mandalorian Din Djarin, and we're going with Chrome Mando. Din Djarin has become one of the most popular characters in all of Star Wars. Although season 3 was a disappointment objectively, seasons 1 and 2 were beloved by fans, allowing it to become a cultural phenomenon. Din Djarin, aka Mando, is a character that has been produced a few times now by Hot Toys. There was the original Durasteel version, sometimes referred to as OG Mando, then there was the first Beskar version that did not have a chrome finish, and then came the Beskar version from season 2 that did in fact have a chrome finish. The season 2 Chrome Mando is the best Mando figure to date, and Hot Toys even marketed it as such when it originally went up for pre-order. For those who don't remember, the original Beskar Mando just started shipping roughly the same week that the Chrome version was announced, causing quite a stir. But we try to repress that memory nowadays. Despite all of that, the Chrome Mandalorian figure came out great. It's a chrome finish that pops on the shelf and really looks the most lifelike, despite the weathering not being to every collector's taste. Some collectors believe the weathering is a bit too drastic and not accurate to the show, but I kind of like how it looks myself. The head sculpt isn't great, but it's good, and it's the best we got right now for Pedro. The figure, of course, comes with a Grogu, a Beskar spear, a Darksaber, and a bunch of other really cool weaponry. While the Durasteel Mando is badass and the original Beskar version is good, the Chrome version is clearly the superior offering. It doesn't have a pram like the original release, but it's the best Mando figure in virtually every other way. And at number 2, we have Thanos, and we're going with Infinity War Thanos. Thanos is one of the most iconic characters in the history of the MCU, and always will be. The first 3 phases of the MCU were leading towards the climactic showdown with Thanos and his forces, and boy was the journey one hell of a ride. Now, if we're talking about the iconic definitive Thanos, it's the Thanos who won from Avengers Infinity War. I still maintain that Avengers Infinity War is the best film Marvel has ever produced, and it stands to reason that the leading character from that film would be the iconic version and the definitive figure to own in your collection. Infinity War Thanos is Zealot Thanos. He is unwavering in his belief that he is doing what needs to be done, that he's actually saving the universe, not destroying it. What the Russo brothers did so effectively was to introduce a sympathetic backstory for Thanos so the audience understands what his convictions are and why they're so strong. This Thanos won because he needed to win, and he was willing to do whatever it took to do so, unlike the Avengers. As far as the Hot Toys figure is concerned, the likeness to Josh Brolin's Thanos is the best Hot Toys has offered thus far. The paint apps are better than any other version, and Hot Toys actually offered a swappable, non-articulated arm, something they've not done since. While accessories are minimal, the shelf presence is off the charts. While the armored looks are cool, this Infinity War look is more iconic because it represents peak power and peak development for the character of Thanos. This Thanos literally wiped out half the universe. And at number 3, we have Kylo Ren, and we're going with The Force Awakens Kylo Ren. This was a tough one. There have been 3 Kylo figures released, and all of them are awesome in their own way, but if we're looking at the most iconic version, it's the first one from Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Firstly, irrefutably, this is Kylo's best costume. I'm not sure why Kylo didn't maintain this look throughout the entire trilogy, because it is absolutely brilliant. I can only assume it was because Adam Driver couldn't move very well, and it was probably pretty hard to see. The costume is also hot, so fighting in it would have been not very fun. That said, Kylo in The Force Awakens just looks menacing and like some sort of dark side assassin. Combine this with his awesome powers showcased throughout the film, and you got a pure banger of a figure here. It should be noted that this is the only Kylo Ren figure that does not come with an Adam Driver head sculpt. It should have, considering he removes his helmet often near the end of the film, but alas, the helmeted look still is badass. None of the helmets have a chrome paint job, unfortunately, but they still do the trick. The Force Awakens is the best film in the sequel trilogy, it's Kylo's best look, and most badass display of power, so this is a pretty easy choice. The Rise of Skywalker is probably a slightly overall better figure, but it's not more iconic, so The Force Awakens is the definitive Kylo Ren Hot Toys figure. And at number 4, we have Darth Maul, and we're going with the Phantom Menace Darth Maul. Darth Maul has become one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars. After his first appearance as the main antagonist in Episode 1, Darth Maul has appeared in Clone Wars, Rebels, even Solo: A Star Wars Story. Well, there have been multiple Darth Maul figures produced by Hot Toys, but one clearly stands above the rest, and that's the DX16/17 Darth Maul from Star Wars: The Phantom Menace. This figure shows Darth Maul in his most badass state. Most collectors who grew up in or around the 90s will remember what it was like to go to the theater and see this evil-looking villain ignite a double-bladed lightsaber. This was weaponry Star Wars films had never seen the likes of before, and it blew our minds. Darth Maul only had a handful of lines of dialogue, but his physical presence and amazing skills as a warrior were enough to win over the fans. Despite Episode 1 being the worst Star Wars film ever made, Darth Maul is one of the coolest characters in Star Wars lore. Darth Maul is badass and mysterious, and his Hot Toys figure recreates his likeness in the film very effectively. Although the paint apps are a little bit darker red than they were in the film, the tailoring, multiple head sculpts, and overall presence this figure exudes are simply remarkable. This Darth Maul figure also comes with a Sith speeder if you elect to dedicate more display space to the character, and that's also super cool. The standard version comes with what it needs to, but Darth Maul doesn't really need that much besides his iconic red lightsaber. Since this figure is a DX, it does have movable eyes, so you can change the personality of the pose entirely if you wish. There's also an angry head sculpt included that really lends itself to some dynamic poses. This figure is a grail. And at number 5, we have ObiWan, and we're going with ObiWan from A New Hope. Declaring a definitive ObiWan is a difficult task because an older ObiWan and a younger ObiWan both exist. Both are iconic in their own ways, but for the purposes of this video, we can only choose one. Although the Revenge of the Sith Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan is not a horrible figure, I'm not crazy about the head sculpt. Even if I were, it'd be tough for me to overlook the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan figure because of the iconic nature of the character as the original Obi-Wan and the beauty of the Hot Toys head sculpt. This Obi-Wan figure is truly a work of art. It's one of the best head sculpts I've seen from a Hot Toys figure because it truly captures Alec Guinness's likeness in a way that few figures have been able to achieve. This outfit is pretty basic, but to be honest, that's the case for every Jedi. It's typically some brown robes, maybe a tunic of some kind, and that's about the extent of it. But the soul is in the head sculpt, and the likeness is out of this world. The figure is pretty basic in terms of its included accessories, but the figure still looks amazing on the shelf nonetheless. This is the OG Obi-Wan, and it's the only Alec Guinness Obi-Wan we ever got from Hot Toys. The original is hard to top, the thing that started it all, and the head sculpt on this one is so good, and the figure is easily just the definitive Obi-Wan to me as of now. And at number 6, we have Boba Fett, and we're going with the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, the 40th anniversary version. Hot Toys has produced a plethora of Boba Fett figures, each one different from the last, but one stands above the rest. That one is the 40th anniversary Boba Fett from the Empire Strikes Back. This figure not only showcases Boba Fett in his most badass state, his original look, but it also allows the collector to interchange the armor for something closer to Return of the Jedi, if they wish. Boba Fett has a lot of really cool outfits, but Empire Strikes Back just looks so classy. So bounty hunter, so Boba Fett. When I think of Boba Fett, this is the version that comes to mind. That mysterious bounty hunter that said a few iconic lines and then disappeared for the rest of the movie, until he returned and fell into a desert space hole. As far as the figure is concerned though, the accessories are as you'd expect. Although the jetpack is an absolute bitch to put on, this figure looks great when fully accessorized and effectively posed. The weathering, tailoring, and overall presence are really good. Most Star Wars collectors need at least one Boba Fett figure because he's such an iconic character, and if you feel you need a Boba, you have many good options. But to me, this is the definitive option. The newer Bobas from the Disney era are great too, but most collectors will prefer something OG, and the best choice there is this Empire Boba. And at number 7, we have Leia, and I'm going with Bespin Leia. Leia is one of the most iconic and awesome characters in both Star Wars and cinema as a whole, really. Considered to be royalty in canon and among collectors and fans alike, Leia is a must-have for most Star Wars collectors. But which one do you buy? Well, there are a few really good ones to me, but the best one is Bespin Leia. I owned this figure for a while and ultimately decided I didn't need a Leia in my collection due to limited space, but if I were to own a Leia, it'd be the Bespin version, easy. The Bespin Leia delivers an excellent head sculpt and easily Leia's coolest costume design on a Hot Toys figure. This figure has quite literally no accessories beyond swappable hands and a display base, but the presence is still great. This head sculpt looks a lot like Carrie Fisher, and the outfit communicates royalty through and through. I also like this figure a lot because Empire Strikes Back is the best film from the Star Wars original trilogy. The other two films are a bit mid for me, but this one is amazing and just hits different. Still, Bespin Leia is a great figure and is the definitive Leia Hot Toys figure out there right now. And in number 8, we have Black Panther, and we're going with the Black Panther original suit. Black Panther will forever be remembered as one of the best characters in the MCU at its peak. Chadwick Boseman was so iconic in the role that Marvel elected to put the character to rest upon the unfortunate and sudden passing of Chadwick Boseman. As far as Hot Toys figures go, none of them have nailed the likeness of Chadwick Boseman. However, these suits that have actually come out have been really nice. One stands above the rest though, and that's the original suit from the first Black Panther film. This suit was initially released under the Captain America Civil War banner back in 2018, and for the time, it was a really great figure. Now we have a 2.0 version, and the proportions are improved as well as the texture of the suit. This figure is a banger and has so much presence on the shelf, even with minimal accessories. I've never been a huge fan of the film Black Panther suit because I feel it lacks the personality of the first. Simply put, the design just isn't as cool. The original Panther suit comes with a Wakandan spear and shield that are kind of cool, but most will probably never use them because T'Challa didn't actually use them while he was in the suit. The suit itself has enough presence to stand out on the shelf and beautifully represents one of Marvel's legacy characters. It's a must-have for Infinity Saga MCU collectors. And at number 9, we have Wonder Woman, and I'm going with WB100 Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is a character that Hot Toys have attempted many times over the years. Looking back, I don't feel as if they've truly nailed any one figure release. The closest to a hit is probably the WB100 Wonder Woman. This is an exclusive figure that was released in 2023 and has rooted wool hair, a specialized silicone body, and an amazing Wonder Woman base. This figure requires a little bit of futzing to make the hair look as good as it can, but this figure has the best proportions, coolest outfit, the best likeness, and the best hair as of now. While this Wonder Woman is difficult to find, it offers the best representation in 1/6 scale in a licensed capacity. Other versions of Wonder Woman, such as the training armor version and other offerings, are quality choices, but likely will be irrelevant and look dated in another year or two. The WB100 Wonder Woman still is not perfect, but it's the best we got for now. And at number 10, we have Scarlet Witch, and we're going with Artisan Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is one of the most iconic characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and she's still going strong. From her appearances in the first 3 phases of the MCU to her more spotlight-heavy roles in WandaVision and eventually Multiverse of Madness, there have been several very strong Wanda Hot Toys. That said, I'm rolling the dice once again and going with the Artisan Scarlet Witch from Avengers Endgame. I'm going with this figure because I think I'm an optimistic person, I like to think so, and I see the potential heights it could reach. Wool implanted rooted hair, an amazing likeness, a light up diorama base, this thing could be special. It also could be ass if the hair isn't right, but I'm going to think positively and assume Hot Toys delivers a high quality figure here. This is right up there with the Multiverse of Madness Wanda for best Elizabeth Olsen likeness, and the rooted hair truly puts this figure over the top. Wanda wore this outfit in 4 different films, and I'd say as of now, it's her iconic look. It also comes from Marvel's highest grossing film of all time, that is Avengers Endgame, so the potential is through the roof here. This figure could go with the rest of your Avengers Endgame line, which is a huge plus. While I love the Multiverse of Madness version and what it could potentially offer, I gotta say Artisan Wanda has a higher ceiling than any other Scarlet Witch Hot Toys figure. Alright, so there you have it. There's 10 more definitive Hot Toys figures of 10 iconic characters. Guys, if you have any thoughts, concerns, drop them down in the comments section below. If you agree with my choices, let me know. If you disagree with my choices, let me know. If you have a different version of a certain character that I discussed that you believe is the definitive version, you should let me know in the comments below. Let me know your experience on these figures that I listed, or maybe other versions of these characters, based on your collecting habits and collecting needs and all that good stuff. Guys, if you'd like to see me continue this series, let me know. There are many other iconic characters that Hot Toys has produced multiple versions of. We could go over those, discuss the definitive versions, and see what you guys think about that. Guys, if there's any other topics you'd like to see me discuss, please let me know in the comments below as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell for updates related to this channel. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. You guys have been amazing throughout this journey. I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much. Peace out. See you later. Bye. Bye.